This time and cost tracker is a simple yet effective Excel file. It's a straightforward tool to track the time and expenses you've incurred while working on any given project. It's also helpful to keep in mind the remaining time before the deadline. So, for instance, if you are a freelancer, you can keep an eye on your hourly project rate, which is the rate resulting from the time you spent, how much you sold the project for, and your project-related expenses. You could also use it to establish a quote based on an hourly target rate and a given list of tasks and their expected duration. Finally, the content of this time and cost tracker can come into play to communicate with your client at different stages of a project, such as the negotiation phase and execution phase. Enough talking. Let's start with a blank template. In this sheet, the blue cells are user inputs. These blue cells have to be filled in. On the contrary, orange cells are calculated. These orange cells are formula-driven and should not be touched. Let's assume my project is creating a website for $1,000. I'll put 1,000 in cell C4. It needs to be delivered on the 17th of December this year. I will put this date in cell I4. I want to divide the project into 8 items, so I must copy the first tracking row several times. To do so, I put the cursor on that first row and press the Shift key. While holding the Shift key, I press the space key to select the entire row. Then, while still maintaining the Shift key pressed, I use the arrow down to reach row 14. Then, I press the Control key. While still maintaining the Control key pressed, I press D to copy down the first row across the entire selection section. Now my template is ready to be filled with tasks, durations, and expenses. For instance, my first task is a Zoom meeting to understand my client's requirements. When I start the meeting, I select the cell in the Start column. By pressing the Control key and semicolon, Excel returns the current time. Similarly, when I'm done, I select the cell in the End column and I press the Control key and semicolon. Of course here, because I'm doing it within the same minute, the timestamps are identical, so it yields a 0-minute duration. However, if I pretend the task is an hour, the task duration is calculated accordingly. The template is designed to handle tasks up to 23 hours and 59 minutes. If your task is longer than that, you'll probably need to break it down. For my second task, third task, etc., I would do the same. For my project-related expenses, I simply list them up here. Expense 1, for instance, $20. Expense 2, for example, $500. You can see my hourly rate is adjusted accordingly. That's all for now. You can download this Excel file on the fixmyspreadsheet.live website. Thanks for watching.